WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. I'm still surprised that I couldn't find any videos about this online. This is Hart Brothers. This is blended malt Scotch whiskey, 17-year-old 50 ABV port finish. Yay! So this is now whiskey base number 45731, and I paid 54 euros for this. Now this is from the 25th of November 2020. So if you have a bottle from 2017 or 18 or 16 or even 13, it will probably taste different. So what I also have here is then my comparison. So if you take a look at the two tins here, you see port is more of a purple, and for some reason sherry is more of an orange, which I would never have picked, but that's okay. I wouldn't have picked green for rye either, but hey, no one asks me, so that's just okay. So this is also 17 years old. This is also then 54 euros, and this is also 50% ABV. So the Hart Brothers, actually, they started off in 1964. That was Donald and Ian. And then in 1975, Alistan came to there, and he's the master blender. So he's responsible for both of these blends on this table. And he's been doing this now for over 45 years. Math, wow. All right, very, very good. I thought this was okay. This is more of a C type of whiskey. I hope that the port is better. Let's nose it and see. Oh, I get sulfur. Shame on you. And my glass is still empty. That's my my nosing glass from my German video. So let's see how much more sulfur I get now. I get a fruitiness and sulfur. I get a red fruit. I get a red currant. I get a red... Ooh, I really get sulfur now. A red plum over here. It's more of a bread crust moment with a toast and also orange marmalade. I can really get the orange here there. All right, going back. Burnt toast with red cranberry on it. Now, the nose really doesn't overwhelm me. On the contrary, I'm somewhat disappointed in the nose. I have a weak, tiny, kind of little bit of a conspiracy theory that the bottlings from Hart Brothers over the years have not gotten better. I have people that had the first bottlings back in 2013-15 that we really loved them, and now we're in the 17s and the 2020s, and I must admit that the quality in no way whatsoever impresses me. So let's take a sip of this. Now watch my face. 1 second. It's almost at the point of being painful. All my nerve endings got shocked with alcohol. And it's a sharpness. It's not a pepper, it's not a ginger, it's alcohol sharpness. It's almost like having something, I'm trying not to be too nasty here, almost something chemical in your mouth. Now, alcohol is a chemical. It's a chemical substance. Now, what I think happened is they basically took whiskey that was in a refill hogshead, just laying around, blended it together, bam, boom, you got this. What do? You put it in the first fill port pipe. It says still first fill port pipe here on the tin. Now, if I take a look at these two bottles here, I'm just going to put them side by side here. I'm going to take a little piece of paper. Sorry about that. And just put it behind here. And I actually must admit that the sherry looks a little darker than the port. And it's not a wow darkness. I've seen Coca-Cola bottles recently from sherry and from even port that's been much, much darker. Both of these are not wow darkness. And they're both from first fill. So how long were they in the first fill? Was it 20 minutes? Was it 20 days? Or was it 20 months? I don't know. But it does say here, Hart Brothers has brought together some of the finest single malt Scotch whiskies for further maturation in first fill port pipes. So more than one, that's very, very good. And no artificial coloring, very, very good. Non-chilled filtered, very, very good. But, and this is my but, I really have the feeling they took third and fourth fill hogsheads that were very, very tired hogshead, mixed them together, put them in the first fill sherry butt and the first fill port pipe for a few months or even only weeks, and that's it. So we have an additive maturation where we add something. Yes, we're getting color. Yes, we're getting flavor. But you also need to have a subtractive maturation where the wood actually interacts with the alcohol. It takes away that sharpness, which I personally feel that didn't happen at all, or not enough. Now over here, I have the feeling that this is almost close to where I was going, but this actually over the threshold, it's way, way over that threshold of being actually acceptable. Now, taking a look at the sherry. The alcohol expands, it's getting hot, and it retreats. Here, it's getting hot, and it's getting hotter, and then it finally retreats. And it just actually goes over my threshold for something I like. This is a D plus whiskey, unfortunately. I do not like the 2020 version of the Hart Port 17-year-old finished blended malt. No grain. It is a blend from different single malts from different single distilleries, but there is no grain whatsoever in here. It is, every single drop in this bottle has to be at least 17 years old. It could be 200-year-old whiskey in here. As long as I put a drop or a little bit of 17-year-old in here, everything else is also 17-year-old. It's always the youngest whiskey, which I think is actually great. But here we have a somewhat okay mouthfeel at the end. Here we don't. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dilute this down to about 40%. This gets better. So what we need to do, I'm sorry, but Alistair, I would work on having someone that can detect sulfur and also finding better juice at the beginning to finish into your wonderful, wonderful first fill port and first fill sherry cask. Yes, I know it's difficult at the moment. I know you have to dig deeper into your pockets, but hey, for a 17-year-old, we're willing to pay at least 70 euros for good whiskey. I'm not at all willing to pay another penny for this bottle. I would actually try to warn people not to buy this now, even though this was recommended to me by someone who actually liked your products back then. Good flavor, good mouthfeel, tiny little bit of alcohol towards the end, very, very nice. The 50% just doesn't do this justice. And also the original juice that was used before it was finished is just not up to par, my personal opinion. Value for money, D. Taste, D plus. Yeah, what can I say? Was older stuff better? Probably. The sherry, actually, I prefer, and I didn't like it as much. I thought I was going to like the port. I thought I was going to like the port better. Disappointments, and especially with disappointments, that affects my grading scale a tiny little bit because I had high hopes, and these hopes were actually diminished or just destroyed, and therefore it's like, all right. So thank you very much for watching. Question of the day, what is your favorite, once again, blended malt? Do not mention Johnny Walker 15-year-old. And the second thing is, which whiskeys do you like that have been finished or matured in port casks? So I have two. I have one cask and another one planning, actually already in Ireland, that I'm looking forward to. bottling in the next 8 to 10 years. So that's something I do like. Good port casks. It does have a nice finish. There's good things there, but that alcohol pow explosion in the middle just destroys this taste for me. All right, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, tell others, and even share this video if you'd like, even though it is not a recommendation for this whiskey, but it is a recommendation almost for this whiskey. All right, thank you very much. All the best. See you soon. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.